And now, coming to you from the Pensado Media Center, powered by Westlake Pro.
The incredible Manny American says our guest is one of 5 certified geniuses he's ever worked with. That's high praise indeed. The guy's absolutely amazing. Want to learn from superstars in Music City? We'll show you how. Dave's got a rockin' new ITL. JD hit the gas. You're at the place. It's Pensado's place.
Yay! And by the way, Manny said I was number 741 in terms of the number.
Wasn't that a Roar drug? Wasn't that a Quaalude?
No.
Seven something. I should know that. Sally Forth.
And I do know that. That'll come to me during the show.
Okay, it's because of your earlier Quaalude usage.
Did we violate FCC rules again? We do every week.
Remember what we say,
Boy.
FCC is an acronym. Actually, if you pronounce it, says it's fuck. They've got to work that out, not us. Correct?
Man.
How's your week?
Excellent. You know, everything in our lives is gauged by our professional lives, right? And it was a good week.
And you've been manning up through your head cold, which is
I don't
just
have
you.
cold.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
fine.
that's right. That's
I'm
how
not gonna
Dave
give
deals. That's how Dave deals with sickness. I'm just not sick. I can't hear, I can't drive, I can't see, but I'm not sick.
No, I'm not sick.
No, not at all. Shall we get to our guest?
Let's do it.
Good deal. Hey, everybody, it is great to be here with you. Do me a favor, count your audio blessings. To our friends and supporters in Brussels, we pray that you're okay. We got your back. Understand something, cowardice never wins. So heads up, it's going to be okay. Speaking of winners, that would be our partners, Vintage King, the Blackbird Academy, Audio Technica, Isotope, The Recording Connection, Avid, The Fab Factory, Aftermaster, and Studio 202 DC. Quick shout out to Michael Loudon for the really kind words that you sent to us this week. Dave and I thank you for that. We're glad the show's serving the purpose that you need it to be, and we're always there for you. Also, a big thank you to all the mix inquiries for our man Dave. We appreciate the business, and we are knocking them out of the box. Dave's new room, the Fab Factory, is getting ever closer to opening, and we will give you a behind-the-scenes look, maybe an invite for a lucky few. Stay tuned for that. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, some very cool contests with Indaba and Converse Rubber Tracks, live events so we can come see you and bring some of our friends and do some what we call edutainment, and it's going to be a ball. Capital Jam 2 coming. Gear Expo Los Angeles coming. Pensado Awards coming. Gear Expo Nashville coming. Some stuff in New York, like Mix Fest New York, another event in Boston coming. So stay tuned. We're going to get your calendars ready. We are a good year. You know, we love doing this stuff, and we're going to come at you hard and heavy. Speaking of edutainment, our friends at the awesome Blackbird Academy are not holding back. I want to explain something to you. You know, Dave and I are going down to teach on May 13th. And there's still plenty of time for you, by the way, to get in on your April classes or prepare for the July classes. But here's a quick hit of some of the instructors. Know that during the whole time when you do sign up for the Blackbird Academy, you're going to learn from some of the best and brightest. I mean, look at the screen behind me. There's just some incredible folks there. People like Joe Ciccarelli and Cheryl Crow, Ross Hogarth, CLA, Chris Lord-Alge, Andrew Sheps, and others. I mean, George Massenberg comes, Vance Powell, Candace Stewart comes, and on and on and on.
How many people are on that list?
This list is full of names, I would say probably 70 some odd names.
That's incredible.
Here's the point that Karma and John McBride feel. They feel like in order for you to have an immersive experience, they are going to not only have you learn from the best, be able to go into one of the best studios, bring down the best instructors, have you learn on the best gear, have you learn practical experiences, put a placement service to you, get you a job, and make it worth your money. And the reason we tout them so much is there's very few people that do that. Hello, think you may want to do that. Veterans, they are VA certified. International students, no town in music like Nashville. Get there if you can. The way you do it, hit Karma at theblackbirdacademy.com. That is your girl. Hit her up. She's standing by. Well, he's the hairy, hopeful host who put the H in hungry, and he goes by the name of...
I want to make an offer, Herb.
What is it?
Man, all you rappers out there, any musicians out there, if you've got an indie label, a major label, that's free. Sample it, it's yours. If you need an original version, if you're on a major label, I'll send it to you. I'd love to see that on a record.
Well, Chongor, how much has your life just changed?
Chongor on the beat.
Chongor on the beat.
Good. That's pretty
and
good.
Chongor will record that at his iPhone and mail it to you.
How funny. So, got a great guest this week, yes?
Oh my God, what a killer.
I mean, he's got a #1 record right now. Do you like his records?
One of my favorites. I'm completely lost for words.
Well, the reason I ask you that is because he's your age and he is a live instrumentation guy, but and we'll talk about it, but he puts them in these contemporary records that make his records feel really special for a guy that young.
100%.
It seems to me like he's whatever tool necessary. He's not just any one thing, as you know, but whatever makes the song better, that's what he chooses, and he's got the breadth and width and the experience to do that.
Absolutely. Well, we'll introduce him in a second. But first, let's introduce our brand new ITL. You've been in the lab with Chongor?
Yeah.
What'd you come up with?
I did an acoustic guitar recently, and I want to share with you a couple of concepts for that you might not know. Here we go.
Roll it.
When I'm working with acoustic guitars, I usually make a decision. Is it going to be a harmonic instrument? In other words, am I more interested in the chords and the chord changes? Or is it going to be a rhythmic part? Am I more interested in the rhythm that the pick is making when it hits the strings? Now, I'm working on a song by my dear friend Dave Huff, and the acoustic felt to me like it was more rhythmic than harmonic, so I decided to try and make it maybe 70% rhythmic and then have it contribute to the chord changes about 30%. And I wanted to show you this because I think a lot of times we don't have a plan for acoustic guitars, and being a guitar player, I know when I'm playing along on a song, I know that sometimes I'm a rhythm instrument and sometimes I'm percussion. So let me show you this guitar. I've already worked on it a little bit. Let's put it in the mix. Okay, so it's kind of hiding back there. I chose this because it's one of my favorite EQs. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't have a clue how it works, but I like the way it sounds, so watch this. So I took out some of the parts some of the sound. I took out a part of the sound, but I've already got a lot of other instruments competing for that same space. So you can see we're leaning towards getting the sound of the pick on the strings. And I fell in love with this console at Blackbird, and this is kind of similar. It gives me that vibe. You can see I'm adding a lot of, what is that? I can't tell. I'm adding a lot of 10K. Okay, you can see I'm adding a lot of 10K and a little bit of compression. I'll leave this up for a second so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, let's put that in the mix. Getting closer. Now, I want to show you this plugin because you don't have to spend a gazillion dollars. This plugin is done by a guy that's just very musical. I love his work. So what we're doing is we're emulating, I'm not sure what we're emulating. This timing thing makes me think it's a little bit of a Fairchild kind of thing. So I've got the compression set. This section here for this particular plugin, I think, is where the money is. It's the sweetest kind of distortion, and then this timbre control really adds a lot. So this is without it. With it. So you see we've changed the groove a little tiny bit, but let's hear it in the track. This is where I would put it in the mix. Kind of cool, huh? So you can see the rhythm part that we're having contribute to the groove, and because it was played so amazingly, all the Nashville cats are just beautiful feel and beautiful timing. So we utilize that timing and feel to add a little groove to our song with a guitar. All right.
Imagine this. On the road at 13 with Superstars. Grenade was his first hit record. He's Bruno Mars' creative partner. He's got songs on Adele. He's got a current #1 record with Lukas Graham. He plays everything. He's in huge demand. He happens to also be a loving dad and a great dude. Another Compton superstar. Talking about straight out of Compton. This is a bad, bad boy. We recently caught up, and please enjoy our conversation with the incomparable Brody Brown.
Sure.
What up, man?
Brody, what's up?
How are you?
I'm all right. Thanks
Dave,
for having
fire
me.
away. Oh, we're happy to have you, man.
Brody, your work with Bruno Mars has really been something special to me because I grew up with live instruments, but I don't use them too much now. School me on how you use live instruments in that format. Uptown Special is just an amazing record.
Yeah, the way they put that body of work together was great. Without going to disc or red, they use a lot of real instruments. On that, and dealing with Bruno, anytime he's around, any production, songwriting, it has to be real instruments. I don't have nothing against the Ableton, I love Ableton, but when it comes down to actually playing a Juno, right. tweaking the frequency on the Juno, or that matters the most in those, and it brings out the realness that we're trying to capture from years ago.
See, I think it was interesting because when that record came out, Chongor, who's my right hand in Coast to Corner office, called me and he was just like, hey. And my instant reaction was I tied it back to the records I grew up with because it felt like that, which was that whole, horn bands, kind of funk, the time, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Parts.
Yeah.
Everybody playing their part.
And also, too, you immediately know it's a new record, though, too.
Well,
that's what's so hard to do. I don't know how you guys did that.
Well, that's the brilliance I was going to go to because it felt to me like guys who are your age and have your influences but respect and revere what real instrumentation does, you found a balance. There was a balance. Was that fair?
Yeah, it's more than fair because at the end of the day, we still have to cater to to children.
Yeah, that's right.
So that matters. So if you get a good drum loop, if it's boom, pa, that's the drum loop. It's gonna get you dancing.
Yeah.
Then you put a dope bass line to it. Then you build and build. It's nothing new, but a lot of people forgot about that format.
And it's also hard to do in a way where things feel original and new.
Right.
Like some people copy,
Right.
and it can be new and be a hit, but to be original.
Yeah.
And old and new at the same time. That's a whole other.
Comes with the message of the record too.
Good point.
The writing of it. So.
Yeah. Because when you see Bruno perform, he's that dude.
He lives what he's talking about.
And he, it's what I grew up on. It's when I was like, I watched the Super Bowl when he performed with a whole bunch of old people.
Oh, that was.
They acted like they were
incredible.
18. I was like, y'all are on crutches and stuff. You can't be jumping up. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah.
How did the Adele record "All I Ask" on the new album come about? That must have been describe that moment when you knew it was finally going to come out. Or describe any moment involved with that.
I had a few moments, you know, here and there, but when, you know, Bruno called me, he was like, yo, we got a deal. Come in, like, whatever. Like, he's always calling me, like, you know, to make sure I'm even a part, you know, and I thank him for that.
That's amazing.
You know, a billion people can do our job.
Right, but he calls you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, he called me, he said, yo, we working on the deal. Can you come? And I'm like, of course, I'll be the first thing smoking. And of course, I wasn't there the first thing smoking. I think I was a little late. But I walked in and she was there. You know, she's early, she's prompt, very professional. And her manager was there and she was there and I shook her hand and she was like, oh, hello. Like, you know. And I was
tell
like,
the truth, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
She actually said, hello, it's me. No,
Right.
just,
She ordered a bag.
all right, well, that's whatever works.
yeah. But long story short, we did the song. We actually did 2 records, and the other one is great too. But she picked the simple, you know, straight to the point ballad. You know, she has a lot of ballads, you know,
Right.
and they're all great. But this one was something special to her, I guess, and she chose it. It was great working with her. I mean, without a mic, her voice fills the room.
Really?
You know, it's like,
Wow.
that's for real.
Wow.
The power in her voice and the way she sings.
So Adele's a vocalist. As you mentioned, she's got this, even without a mic, her voice fills the studio.
Right.
When you're watching her do a vocal, you know, some singers just bring it and they know where they want to go. Some allow themselves to be produced. Sometimes a balance. Did you notice anything in working with her?
I just noticed that she, you know, she doesn't overthink. You know, she didn't overthink none of the records. She was like, you know, I cut it. It's the way I sound. Like,
This is what it is.
This is what it is.
Nice.
You know, please don't second guess the greatest type.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she sang it, whoop.
Wow.
You know that segment on Fallon where they all get in a little room and they're playing like
Toy
kazoos and
instruments.
toy.
Yeah.
She did Hello, and it was as good as the record.
Yeah,
and there's
right.
they're just singing into a crappy, well, not a crappy mic, but just some generic mic, I guess.
Right.
And
Yep.
and like.
It's so good.
That's when I started liking that song. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
When she was just singing
That's
it
real.
with the Roots,
Yeah.
just playing little toy instruments and
Absolutely.
stuff. Amazing.
When now I know this is an emotional thing. How long did it take for you to recover from all the tears and when you fainted, when you realized for the next several years you'd be getting royalties from that record? How long did you cry?
Oh my gosh.
Tears of joy.
I think my heart stopped for a moment before I cried.
That's a big moment.
And then my heart stopped again.
Yeah, that's a big moment.
Might be a good spot to get the mailbox story in.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Come
let's
on,
do
man.
it.
Come on, man.
Tell the mailbox story.
Our audience wants to know the mailbox story.
You know, there's been plenty of times about the mailbox story, but
Can I start it off?
start it off.
Man, everybody in this room has been poor. Well, not poor, but broke.
Yeah,
Poverty
straight
is
up
a
poor.
different thing than
That's
than,
true.
than broke. But you know, back before I moved to LA, I wouldn't go check the mail because it was just bills I couldn't pay anyway.
Right.
So why check it? It just depresses you.
Right.
Wouldn't answer the phone because it's a bill collector. That depresses you. I even had. Back then we had answering machines, and I wouldn't even check those. I'd just
absolutely.
buy another one and hook it up to that one. So when I get like 4 answering machines in a row,
Call waiting is the
Yeah.
best thing ever for broke people.
Oh
right?
man.
the reason I
The
like
best.
this,
It's like,
the
oh,
reason
hell
I like
no.
this
Yeah.
story from Brody is because it shows you guys out there that it's not easy, but his clarity of vision for knowing what he wanted to do wasn't deterred by all the things that life threw at him that were a huge disadvantage. So you borrowed $20 from your mom.
Borrowed $20, you know, more than once and twice and 3 times.
Sure.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and I'm already in the business. I have a publishing deal. Like, this is back then. I'm like, well, you know, like, I'm tired of asking my mom for $20. And it's her last 20.
Right, on top of it.
On top of it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I had to make a change in my life and, like, really get my mind together and be like, you know, I just want to, I want to just write records that's going to, you know, I don't want to play around. And then, again, the mailbox thing is just like, I knew I would stop playing when, you know, the 200, the 300, the 400, you know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, kept coming. I'm just like, oh, like, this is real.
In the mail. Yeah, like you just go to the mailbox.
Mom,
and go,
look.
Wow.
Wow.
Mom, look again. Look.
Wow.
You know, it's just amazing.
How did she, because there's a number of things for her besides, potential security, just
Yeah.
watching her boy get to that. She must have just
It was
been on seventh heaven, as well as probably
seventh
fifth
heaven.
Yeah. Right.
Man, she was on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Because, at growing up in Compton, we have a lot of, statistics, and it can be anybody, Hispanic, Black, whoever you are. You can just be caught up in the wrong moment out there and it's a wrap.
That's right. Just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you didn't even do nothing, but you're around someone.
Right.
And that just inspired her to believe in me
Right.
even more. Like, oh, he really knows what he's doing.
Right.
I'm not just buying a Yamaha keyboard
For nothing.
from Circuit City.
Right.
For nothing. Yeah, like,
Yeah, back in the day.
yeah. So it was amazing.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's I know that was a proud moment for
Yeah.
her. Yeah, absolutely.
How many instruments do you play? Because you're mostly self-taught, which,
Yeah.
which impresses me. Did you kind of use the church to?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Drums were your first instrument?
Drums was the first, and then I moved to keyboard, and then I stopped keyboard, and I moved to bass. And then through bass, I started learning guitar. So I can play a little bit of the main.
Do you read
pieces.
as well?
I don't read. I
Yeah.
don't sight read.
Right.
Now I know how to chart read. I don't know if
Okay.
that makes a difference, but.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Yeah.
And shout out to the church. What church was
Oh man, it was my home church, SMT, Shackleford Miracle Temple.
There you go.
Smart church, nothing but this big.
got it done.
Like, we got it done. Me and my cousins, my auntie, she taught me. A woman.
it? Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, another amazing
Yeah.
point.
When you sit down to work on a record for Game, which your work on all Game stuff is amazing, and then you work on Adele, what's different in your mind? Like from my perspective as a mixer, I have to kind of clean my musical palette and
Right.
go from one to the other. How about you? What are you thinking when you do two different things? Are you thinking genre or?
Of course. And it's hard for me, it's not even hard for me to say that, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking, automatically. And some people don't even have that ability to go to jazz, salsa, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I'm thinking of going from Game to Adele, it's definitely genre and approach on what, in that genre, what does she needs?
Right.
Or in that genre, what does he needs?
Right.
So-
right.
Yeah, it's always genre.
And do you
And
get to
feel.
Do you get to utilize full Brody from producer to songwriter to different things called for different parts of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to think that way. Like I always say I'm a player on the team. You know, I can run center, small forward, whatever.
Go small, go big.
Yeah,
like,
whatever
you need to do.
I can go through the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. Take the first step.
Yeah.
Hit the 3.
Yeah, and I can be the guy mopping the floor.
Yeah, there you go.
When you're working with a hip hop artist that mostly raps, do you tailor the beat to encourage them to do eighth notes or quarter notes, as opposed to like an Adele where you might encourage her with your beat and your track to do more half notes in the choruses? Do you
Right.
think like that, or it just flows out of you?
Yeah, it just
ready?
kind of flows. I never know what's coming.
Right.
It's kind of weird, but
How many songs do you have to write to get one top 10 record?
I think 1,000.
I'm glad you said that, because people think that
Maybe
you sit
more.
down and write a hit.
Yeah.
It ain't that way, is it, Herb?
No, and
wow.
I think what we've learned, the best guys and ladies, they're just writing all the time.
Right.
Like you don't not write, then write. You're just, when it hits you and it comes out of you, it has to come out of
Right.
you. And whether you put it in your catalog or stack it or do whatever, but it doesn't stop.
Yeah, and it might take 5 years.
That's right.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, that part, and it was crazy. My first #1 was Grenade.
I love that song.
What a great record.
Yeah, that was my first #1, and it was on the Hot 100 for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow, like, I don't know what #1 means, but I got one.
Yeah.
And
You saw that check? You got
that's when I knew what it was.
You're like, bingo.
Oh, #1. So, yeah, that was just crazy. Like, just knowing, like, oh, after 23 years of living, or actually 20 years of living,
Amazing.
this is your first, and you've been doing music your whole life.
Right. And then, boom.
Yeah.
I remember, I won't bore you with old man stories, but Maurice White from Earth, Wind & Fire, because I traveled with him, he told me a number of things. Oh, Cabron. Yeah, absolutely. I was just with him. And Cabron is becoming an audio engineer, actually.
Cool.
He told me a number of things that inspired some of the hit records. Like September was about a riot. And he was watching a riot in D.C., looking out of this hotel room, going, oh my God, and that was the day of the riot. Shining Star was he was having a frustrating period in the studio. He was working at Caribou Ranch in Colorado. Okay. And he just walked out, and because it was so dark, it was just him and a star.
Shining Star.
And he went in, and there's another, I can't remember the film. I think it's, anyways, there was a song he was stuck on, which I think was After Love Is Gone. And it was stuck for like 6-8 months. He just kind of cataloged. And he went to a horror movie. It wasn't The Shining. I have to remember what it was. And it hit him by the end of the movie. He just ran out to the car and finished it, and off it came. So
that's a good place. Like,
right?
I wish I was like that. Like, I can just go to my car and
and it just,
yeah.
But you don't know when the point being that inspiration hits you different ways, and you have to be open to it.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Is that how?
You got to receive it like that. Like,
yeah,
you can't force.
That's a way to put it.
Yeah, there's a force around you when it comes, but you're not supposed to force it.
What inspires your songwriting? Is it just being open to whatever happens, events, stuff you see? Is it calculated when you think about it?
No, it's not like I look at a light and I'd be like, oh, I should write a song. It's more of a feeling like, you know, my children might be running around me too much. And I'd be like, yo, I got to get out of here. And that's when, like, the best comes, because you've been in this hole so much with my children. Yep. And finally, when you get out, you're like, yes, there's so much to write about. And sometimes it's like, oh, what to write about? Because you finally got the freedom to do it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I might take a week off.
Oh, that's good.
I think you have to.
Yeah,
I think creative people have to recharge.
Yeah.
And step away from it.
It's a lot.
I disagree completely.
Yeah. What do you
Pussies,
think?
I mean, you want to take time.
Yeah. Well, you like anger. That's the beauty. You like people to come from pain.
The FCC might get on me for that, but we're talking. Anyway, when you start a song, that creative spark, does it usually start with a track, a chord change, a melody idea?
Oh, yeah, definitely melody.
Oh, that's cool. So
I'm
you'll
into
start a
melody.
melody?
Yeah, like even if it's just a singing a melody, like I won't even start with piano first.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as I have the melody in my head, I can know what chord changes to go to. And the right chord changes, not just, oh, I should put this like this. No, this is what's going to get us there.
Yeah.
Versus, you know, being selfish.
Right. Let me show what I can do.
Yeah, no, there's no show me what you can do in this.
Can I make a
This
request?
business. Make one.
I like it when you sneak a couple of gospel chords in now and then.
Oh.
I want more gospel chords, man.
Listen.
With Bruno and more gospel chords, that's got to work, right, Herb?
Well, not only that, what I'm noticing is that Jesus is making both you all turn your chairs. Like, you're so into it, you're almost turning around back. I thought you were going to spin.
No, man, I've been waiting to talk to him forever. That's the real deal.
Well, no, listen,
That's the real deal over
I
there.
think that, to your point, like when you listen to Bruno or Sam or a bunch of those folks, right up underneath a lot of that is church.
Oh, man.
And if you grew up in church, you know, recognizes church.
Yes. So all of that, that's all like, of course, there's some gospel and there's some blues, like there's intertwining with each other. And that's what I love.
I remember when 1500 or nothing was only like $9.95 or nothing.
Welcome to Pensado.
Oh my gosh, right.
And you probably don't know this, but for a minute they were $17.50 or nothing, but Fauntleroy's took a week off.
He bought something.
Explain
25%.
I think that's like Herb and I, particularly Herb is such a fan and supporter of collaborations and encourages those. And explain how that's helped you and what it is. A lot of people don't fully understand 1500 or nothing. A lot of questions there, buddy. Take one.
It's a whole lot of questions been asked about it. But you know, it's really like like a club.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Like a collective.
Yeah, a collective of great songwriters, musicians, vocal producers, just the whole nine. It's like a little school that everybody go to when they're not in real school.
But it's not a tight thing. It's more of a loose thing. Could you say it's similar to Odd Future?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're one, but at the end of the day, we all have, you know, our different ways we go. And then we get back together when it's time. But then,
Who's in it?
me, myself, Lorenz Dobson, Lamar Edwards, James Fauntleroy, Carlos McSwain. We are like the
Key members, gatekeepers.
with some of them.
That's a hard group.
So how often do you guys write together?
We might get together.
Is it ever formal or is it loose?
It's loose,
Okay.
very loose. Like I might call Rance, like, "Hey Rance, what you doing today?" I'm pull up. I'm at the studio. All right, I don't show up. You know, and it's just that's my brother though. Like you know, it's like Brody's doing something else. He's probably with Michael Jackson somewhere.
That'd be a trick I'd like to film.
Oh man, right there by him.
Oh man.
Man, so you do a lot of touring. You toured with Snoop playing bass.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time on the road in my youth, and I think it makes its way into every mix I do. How does being in front of people affect your writing and how you create for those same people when they go turn on the radio?
Man, it inspires me because it's just like, oh, this is what they like to move to. This is what bass line they're moving to. This hit riff.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yes.
me, you know, like, oh, the response makes me like, oh, I'm learning.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And that's a blessing to even be on stage with the, you
Right,
know,
on
like,
top of it.
yeah, and writing too.
Right.
A lot of people don't get that leverage to do so because they mix musicianship or, you know, how you play your instrument with production.
Sure.
You know, you're not supposed to, two totally different things.
Mixed.
Yeah,
Mixed.
yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think when, in a weird way, when we go out to our audience
I never thought about
and
that.
we talk to people and we see the things they get inspired by,
Yeah.
it's like just being constantly taught.
Yeah.
And your receptors, and it's weird because you're giving and receiving
Right.
at the same time, right? And it's just this.
I like
sort
the
of
instant. I like the instant feedback when
not
I'm
like
mixing. Sometimes, like "Love Never Felt So Good," that Michael Jackson song. It was 9 months later after I mixed it when it came out. I
Right.
can't wait 9 months. I
Right.
want to see your face, play something,
Right.
read your face, and then if you like it, I'll play more. If you
Right.
don't, we'll try something else.
Right. Yeah.
That
Same way.
length of
That
time
feedback is-
that you have to
yeah.
wait. I do miss that world a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm still fascinated by your story, the sentence that you that I read about you that music did indeed save your life. I'm fascinated by that sentence. Where were you heading, and how did it save your life? I mean, I think I could say loosely the same thing, maybe a little bit of that.
Right. And I don't want to go too deep with, oh, it saved my life. But, you know, it helped protect it.
It helped you focus.
Yeah.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, it protected me from a lot of things because of my focus.
Right.
You know, like you said. And it just takes me out of the realm where, you know, you have to be the cool guy at school or, you know, it was just too much pressure already when you're young, is, you know, your
Yeah.
peers. And it was just like, yo, like, this is for real. Like,
So in having that passion, when there were choices that could take you off track, you could go back to your passion and
Right.
stay there.
Right.
And stay away from the other
That's
stuff.
my haven.
Is that how it works?
Right.
Yeah, it's your safe place
Right.
to go be.
a lot of people don't even understand that place,
Right,
like,
right.
you know, because they're so busy worrying about what new shoes are coming out. Or,
Yeah. Right.
Also, if you got a couple of million bucks in the bank, it's probably hard to sing the blues than it is when you got nothing in the
yeah,
bank.
yeah.
In fact, you're negative, you know?
Right.
Well, and
There's
also-
something about desperation that seems to be a
I
good
agree.
fertile soil for creativity to
Oh,
grow
man.
in, you know?
And
Yeah.
also music has this sort of extra factor of being cool. You know, the fact that you're working
lot
with
of people-
music and it's
yeah.
safe, it's like, you know, girls like it, dudes respect you. Like,
yeah.
It's got a, you know, it's a good place to go to. It's
Let alone make it.
yeah. Oh Lord, that's a whole. Just doing it. Is
yeah,
not- but now you made it. That's a whole other one.
Yeah.
That's like getting into the NBA.
Right.
I mean, it really
You
is.
got drafted.
That's how it seems.
I agree.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Carson High.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Well, this could be the worst question I've ever asked, but I'm gonna ask it.
It probably won't be.
because you like me. What are you going to do now to stay relevant 10 years from now? What are you going to
That's
do
one of
now?
the best
so that-
questions you've asked.
It's a good question
That's a great question.
because I have to think about that constantly.
Yeah, me
and
too.
We all do.
Man.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Like you can't be doing Bruno Mars from 10 years from
Oh,
now, right?
no, not
What are you
at
going
all.
to? Well, that's not a bad sentence, but
But I get what
you're
you're
going to take him in a
saying,
different direction. How do
Yeah.
you do that? How do you plan for the future? And what should I be doing?
Man, for me, just I'm still learning. You know, I've been signed to a publishing deal since '08, and that's just a publishing deal. There's different levels in this
That's right.
business that
That's
you
right.
need to learn. So, being on time is one of them, and you know, and that matters.
It's one I'm still struggling with. Trust me.
That really matters in life, and a lot of people be like, you know, that don't matter. Like, long as you show up, and like, no, if you're on time, you know, you get to soak it all in, get a better vibe probably.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
like,
I'm
yeah. So like, I mean, for me, 10 years from now, I can only think, I think 5, right?
Sure.
And that's what
Are
I'm
you
working.
think you're going to still be using live instruments, or are you going to do?
Oh yeah,
more?
definitely,
okay.
definitely. I'm not really, yeah. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Is the business side important to you?
That's the most important. to
Got
me,
it. Got it.
And it's
So
not
not
that
just-
it don't take away from my creativity. You know, my managers be like, man, don't worry about it. Like,
Yeah,
no,
I
I need to
know.
know. Just let me know so I can know what's going on too. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys got it. You guys professional. You've been trustworthy all this time.
Right.
Just let me learn something.
Yeah, no, that's important.
You know?
I used to tell people that when you had an artist whose contributions, who cared like you care,
Right.
their contributions to decision making is really important because they become vested in the process
Right.
and they understand why something's working, why something's not working,
Right.
as opposed to you don't know anything about it and then all of a sudden something's not working and then you start to go, hey, wait, what's
Yeah.
up here?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like when you're a participant, it's better.
Yeah, it's way better for me. Then I get to create better, probably.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not on my brain that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And your signature is in your future. You know what I mean? Like you're at the controls of it.
Yeah.
What's the coolest song you're listening to now that you're really sure I've never heard?
The coolest song to me is Farrah Fawcett's Hair,
Ooh, who's that by?
Capital Cities.
You went
Oh
there.
yeah, I worked on that. Capital was a really cool guy. Cities, he didn't show up much.
Farrah Fawcett's hair. Oh,
yeah.
I've got to go. Chongor, look that up for us. Speaking of Chongor, you're over in the corner office. You got a couple questions for us?
We got some
Thanks,
good
man.
questions this week.
Hit it.
This first one's from Michelle Harrington. On Lukas Graham's 7 years, how much of the instrumentation was acoustic and how much of it was virtual?
7 years was actually, that was live strings, recorded in Copenhagen.
Wow.
The most was probably the drum break, but that was real drums. You know, so live bass, live piano.
Oh, I love it. This is like what we, I hate to say this, but what we grew up on.
Yeah,
like people actually cut live
Conflicted
music.
about all this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like the fact that they get how to do both.
Well, that's my music. Stay away from it.
Then I
Get your own
hate
stuff.
it. I hate
Get your
it.
own stuff.
I love country music.
But if you need it mixed, I'm good with it.
Okay, cool. Chongor, give us another one.
This next one's from Bob Sims. When you're working with an artist that has such a big musical talent, such as Bruno Mars, how does it influence the collaboration and writing process?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
Man, me and Bruno are friends.
Great answer. Starts there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have a
He's got a high
vibe.
tolerance for you not being perfect every
Right.
idea.
Right.
And you just vibe.
Yeah, we're vibing. Of course, you know, we might get stuck at a gate that we can't enter in tonight.
Right.
But tomorrow night, we probably can take a stab at
Right.
getting in.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but we're cool. So
And in his process with you, is he obviously he's a writer. Is he a producer as much as he's an artist and a performer? Is
Yeah, he's the same. Like he likes to get.
he likes to get up in it.
Yeah, like Brody, that guitar lick right there. Do that note, like to the point, to where the show.
Right. Does he think live? When
Yeah,
he's making
all the
music?
time.
Ah.
All the time. It's about the performance.
Oh, really interesting.
What are you looking at me for?
I don't know. I thought you might be hosting a show or something.
I'm just doodling.
It's funny. Look at the colors of the stuff you do.
I love it.
On Fuck You, Ceelo, great job on that song, man. First time I heard it, I was like, first of all, Ceelo
Great
can't,
record.
he can sing the phone book and it sound
man.
good, but you took it to another level with him.
Yeah.
How was it like working with
that
him?
was
I like
gospel.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of the
That
church
is
in it.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Oh, he's amazing. He sat down singing this song.
A friend of mine just saw a show, and he sat down during the whole show and sang everything.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the guy who's going into his false,
Right.
way up, sitting down
Sitting
with a
down.
compressed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, unbelievable.
It was amazing.
From my perspective, I didn't know a lot about Mark Ronson until Uptown. But man, where's he? Is he really as talented as he seems?
Yes. He's very talented, and I believe that's an understatement.
Like people don't really know.
Yeah, talent, that's an understatement. When your mind is together and you know the different sounds or mics that you used in the 60s and the 50s, that's another talent.
So he's that kind of dude?
Yeah,
That's
like-
like John McBride.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he knows his sound, even for the Uptown special. Like he wanted a particular sound.
And he plays too.
Yes, he plays the guitar.
Wow.
That's him playing on Uptown Funk.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And then the whole notion that you guys actually went to Memphis.
Oh,
and
he
cut.
flew us to Memphis. I was only supposed to be there for 3 days. I ended up being there for a week.
Really?
Was it
just
barbecue?
so
It was
good.
barbecue, man. It was I love
chicken,
Oh, barbecue's the
barbecue.
best person. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love barbecue.
Yeah.
Is Neely's a place down there? Isn't Neely's?
I don't know, but I'm getting hungry. That I know, for sure. All right, so here you sit, came from where you came from, you got all this stuff happening, and I would imagine playing at this level constantly keeps you stimulated as a creative person and then makes you want to go farther. Does it work that way?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, vibe is everything. Even being here today is just like, oh, this is making me want to push myself even
that's
more.
good.
This is
Because he wants to get away from you.
Mostly me, I think.
I think it's both of us.
no, this is pushing me to get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
No, really though,
If you come earlier, you can leave earlier. Right?
That's true. That's what I did.
that was
physics.
great. That is
That's absolutely-
physics.
It is
That's
physics.
Einstein.
But yeah, of course, it all inspires me to I was just with Mark Ronson. Oh, Bruno is.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's just you supposed to take that for granted?
Unbelievable.
No, never take that for granted, man. No matter how many instruments you play or.
Do your kids inspire you?
My children are the best. Yeah, all the
Shout
time.
them out. So we can watch it online.
Oh man, I have Callie.
Yeah. How old?
Callie is 2.
Nice.
She's about to be 3. Dr. Dre's birthday, February 18th.
Very cool.
I got Aiden, that's the firstborn.
Yeah.
He's about to be 5 in July, and I got my daughter, Marilyn.
Nice. Nice.
They all have the last name Brown.
Very, very good.
cool.
And they're all futures are going to be okay. Daddy's doing okay.
Those hedge funds.
It's harder to raise kids when you have money than without. I mean, look how he turned out.
No.
You don't want anybody to be poor, of course, but
Yeah.
being serious, man.
Yeah,
Well,
you gotta take it
There's
serious.
some kids out there of very wealthy people that,
That are completely jacked up.
ooh,
Yeah.
I know. I've had to mix them.
No, I've had to invoice them.
I know.
So, all right, is your arm loose there, sir? It's time for batter's box. You look sort of cocky today.
Waiting on me, you backing up.
Oh, shit, you're throwing heaters today. Is that
yeah.
correct?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well then let's get ready for batter's box. I think that we have, now understand something. Brody not only is from Compton, he learned all the early skills in Compton. If you know the number of athletes that come out of Compton.
Come on, talk
absolutely,
about it.
Okay? Fire.
Talk
Forget
about
about
it.
the music stuff, just athlete stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to step out of the way because I think balls are going to be whizzing over your head, and I hope they're just baseballs. But that's another point.
Whoa,
Fire
where
away.
did that come
I
from?
don't know, but fire
Let's
away.
rehearse that to throw me off,
know.
right?
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
trash talking.
Fire,
Right?
that's- hey,
Classic.
it's hood shit,
Kevin
man.
Garnett
It's
trash
hood
talk.
shit.
It's hood.
It's hood shit. Come on,
Straight
man.
up.
I would have worn my brocade jacket if I knew.
I grew up in El Hood. El Hoodo.
Yeah, you did. All right, fire up first one.
Piano.
Coils.
Ooh.
Live drums.
Acoustic.
Bass.
Pickups.
Vocals.
Melody.
Great. I'm losing her.
Ooh.
Help me out, buddy.
No, he's cleaning the clock. I'm not just
No.
losing.
Horns.
Stabs. Come on.
Reverb.
Oh.
The man's good. Guitars.
Fender Strat.
Whew. I was gonna go get the book and just give it to him.
Watch this.
Okay.
Accordion. Synthesizers.
Damn, went right past it.
O'Brien.
Ooh.
Oh, came back hard.
Accordion. Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. If you were stranded on a desert island, what piece of gear would you take with you?
I was stranded on a
Man,
desert
that's up
island. My MPC.
There you go.
60, 3,000, 4,000?
I like the Roger Lynn 60. I like that. I actually like the 2000.
Okay, old
The
school.
3000 is nice too.
3,000.
Yes.
Well, I concede defeat.
But it was
He was
interesting.
good. He
but it was
good.
obtuse too. It was a
tried-
deceptive bat speed.
I tried to get him to say Lawrence Welk, but it just wouldn't.
I mean, he looks like he's swinging the bat slow, but then the ball would just
I know.
jump off the bat.
I'm pretty sure steroids.
But that's no, it's the Compton thing, man. You don't
Maybe
understand.
steroids in Compton?
No, they don't do that. They they do other deeper things. But
Yeah.
he got past all that.
Amen.
One of the things we had a conversation about before
Thanks,
he came on air that I am really excited about is you believe that education is important in giving back to people.
Yes.
And I think we talked about the possibilities of some things we could do together.
Oh man. Call me. I'll give you guys my personal.
Get
Not the girlfriend number?
Not the girlfriend
No,
number.
that's right. You gotta save
My
that.
personal.
Yeah.
My right pocket.
Whoa.
Get ready for that. We are going to
Yeah.
bring some all-stars to you very shortly. I'm really excited about it. I didn't think I was going to get excited about it, but I'm excited about it now. That's going to get planned out tonight, by the way. Look, every week we get graced with incredible human beings that sit to my and Dave's left. I don't think we're rarely let down because we just meet inspiring people, and
Yeah.
it is refreshing. And I want you to know that for all the people that respond to your hits, that pros and guys who've been in the game long as us, we're as inspired by who you are, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Well said.
Thank you.
It is incredible what you've done. The story about your mom, the musicality that you have, the way you are as a dad, the fact that you can be a 360-degree whole human being and bring all that to the table and do well,
Right.
right?
Yeah, you just gotta believe. And it comes with a lot of consistent, hard work.
Yeah.
I even tweeted about it today. I seen a guy, he built a bionic arm out of junk.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that just, he said life is hard, dying is easy. And I was just like, that's why babies learn to crawl before they start paying bills.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
of course life is going to be hard, but you have to have that focus.
Dave, take it home. I can't top that.
I'm pretty sure you took it home, but I'm gonna rewind and listen to what he said, and I'll just add to that. What you said was amazingly beautiful, but sometimes, and I'm making this up, so sometimes it feels like we all want harmony and peace and love and no struggles, no strifes. And I'm not convinced that's an environment that creativity thrives in. I think you don't need tragedy, you don't need deaths in the family, but you need little difficulties every once in a while, like deadlines. I need deadlines, I know that. Or you got the pressure of doing an Adele record. I mean, that is a difficulty. The pressure that I'm sure Brody put on himself had to be massive because he didn't want to let anybody in his family down or anybody around him. Vincent Van Gogh said, never trust the time you're without difficulties. And I don't know if that's true or not. Let me know, but we'll see you next time.